Rock! Get it! Well, say, I don't want to hit these things.
You're right, actually, this is quite heavy.
That'll take the bloody gel coat off, no problem at all. Let's get it. Jesus!
That is a rock.
I think we throw that one back.
No! Hello and welcome to southern Italy. We're in a very rocky harbour. It's August. It is the land of parties and sunshine. It's really hot.
Yeah, and it's always busy. Italy is always busy with boats, so you're going near a harbour and you're going to get rocked around. We've been through quite a lot of harbours, a lot of anchorages. In this episode, we've come from Sardinia through Sicily, now into Italy.
But we have stopped off and we've done a bit of sightseeing as well. I hope you like the film. Coming up, discovering the naked side of Palermo, walking to the top of a volcano, and the art of catching the Emperor of the Sea. The rip in our sail is getting worse, so before we set off, we need a bigger and stronger patch. This should be enough to get us through the next couple of months until we can get it stitched.
So that's all done. We're ready to get going as soon as we get some wind. It is absolutely scorching hot. It's going to be 40 degrees today, so good day to be offshore. Before we go though, we can take the advantage of this lovely water and go for a swim.
It's always difficult leaving a lovely place, but we plan to come back to Sardinia and see more of the island in a couple of years.
Well, there's enough breeze for the flag to fly now. We didn't have any as we came out, but we've got the main up just with the preventer. No point in putting the Yankee out and just sit there and flap. We're getting a little bit of breeze through now. Yeah, I can see actually we're doing over 2 knots. We've been doing 1 knot for a while. Got 11 knots of breeze there, so that's good. Short plotter saying it'll take us 3 days. So yeah, hopefully we get some wind. It should only take us 2.
Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I feel it in the air. Can you feel me?
Sailing slowly isn't for everyone, but for us there's nothing more satisfying than catching the wind and making the most of it. Opening the hatches lets the breeze come through, but it still is incredibly hot. I'm pleased to see the new patch is holding. Now the dinghy has pride of place on deck, I have to find new places to sit. This one's a little precarious.
Something in the air, always something in the
air. By mid-afternoon we pick up speed, and as the sun goes down we're faring a very respectable 7 knots. By some miracle, this lasts throughout the night. In the morning, we see land. So this is the first island we come to when we sail into Sicily.
Yeah.
It's a rare thing for us to be able to sail in a straight line, and with the following wind, we bypass the islands to head to Palermo. We anchor just north of the city in quite an industrial area, about an hour's walk from the centre. Palermo is a real mix of old and modern. Fifth Avenue names next to historic, classic and religious buildings. In the centre of the tourist district there is real art, and lots of it. The Pretoria Fountain arrived in Palermo from Florence in 1574, and it became known as the Square of Shame. Now it's considered a circle of beauty.
One of the nice things about this fountain is that when you walk through it, you get a nice spray, which in this heat you really need.
At night, the anchorage looks beautiful too. The next day we are sailing again, and Steve does some boat jobs, including fixing a bridle to the dinghy, just in case we ever feel the need to tow it. The northern coast of Sicily is quite captivating, and in the evening we anchor in Cefalù. The place is packed for the festival of Santissimo Salvatore. It's the first time we've seen so many people in one place since the pandemic, and it feels rather strange. Even the side streets were busy. Next is a trip to the islands, and in particular the island of Volcano. It's a day sail in good wind, and by the time we arrive in the evening, the anchorage is packed. It's busy with an active ferry port.
We had a bit of a rolly night here in Volcano. The bay is quite sheltered. It's good. It goes all the way around. It's very deep. You can't anchor in the middle here. You have to be sort of near the edge. But there are loads and loads of ferries, aren't there? Here.
Last night they were still going at about 10 o'clock at night, and I'm talking one every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Where are they going?
No, it's a tiny little island, but yeah, there's just these fast ferries that just whiz in and out from everywhere. So it really does shake it up a bit in here. But we're looking forward to getting in and exploring.
First stop, the mud baths.
I don't know if it's because of COVID or because they're doing construction work around here, but it is well and truly closed.
We have more luck finding the track a few hundred metres outside the town, which leads to the volcano. Dormant volcano, I should say. But you never know with these things. Maybe it's not such a great idea to climb in the middle of the day.
When we get to the top, I'm expecting a red hot volcano. Nothing less will do.
When we get to the bottom, I'm expecting a big beer.
Okay, I'm thinking you might be more successful than me. The path is full of dark sandy gravel. As you go further up, bizarrely there's a sign at the top here. Not sure what the options are. Maybe it's just to convince you are still going in the right direction.
It is a bit hot for this sort of walking. I think by the time we're finished, we're going to spontaneously combust and look exactly like our squishes.
Yes.
So before we get too out of breath, I'll tell you what I know about this island, obviously called Volcano, and it is the origin of the name Volcano. It's named after the Roman god of fire, apparently. And the last time this particular volcano erupted was 1888, and that marked the end of the stewardship or ownership of a Scotsman called Stevenson, who came here early in the 1800s and set up a bit of a business here, mining business, and being a Scotsman, obviously he was into his drink as well, and didn't do a distillery as you would expect from a Scotsman. He made some wine, some deep red wine, so we're gonna have to try that at some point.
What's it called?
Can't remember.
Okay, we'll find it.
We will. So that's the view of the anchorage from halfway up. You can see Fair Isle, or you might not be able to, but she's tiny right at the end there. We're a long way out, because actually this whole place was full when we came in late last night. You can only really anchor right along the edge there, because the middle is really deep, about 80 metres deep in the middle, so you're just anchoring along the ledge. So I'm glad to see we're still there, because we've got the anchor just in a bit of stony ground at the edge. I dived on it, but barely in there really. It's you can't get a good hold in here. Glad we've got the Ultra.
Remember the film Lord of the Rings? That's how I feel. Just like Frodo or Sam on a quest to get to the top. And this is the top. Eye-watering sulphur steam coming from the rock. And it's hot. You can actually feel the steam coming through the rock. Wow. Oh. Volcano!
One of the strange things about the anchorage here in Volcano is you get this stuff floating past, and it's actually stone.
It's pumice. So I'm going to put this in the shower and we can use it. Why not?
With it.
No, really, it is proper pumice.
It's weird, isn't it? It's a lump of stone. We thought, what is that floating past? And thought it was just some rubbish. And when you actually touch it and it's hard and it's a stone, you think, what on earth is it doing floating?
That's true.
It doesn't feel like it's going to float, does it?
No, it feels like pumice. So yeah, it's hard. One of the other things you notice about the anchorages around here is the large number of motorboats. Even the paddleboards get a motor. Now these guys are pretty skilled. We stay on the islands for a couple of days while we wait for the wind to be right to continue our journey to Italy. It's a chance to explore the anchorages and go ashore to be tourists. This feels like tourist season with outdoor cafes, pretty streets and plenty of people. It is August after all. And then it's time to leave.
It's Tuesday morning and we are trying to get through the Messina Straits. Still not much wind, but we're going to have a go. Hopefully it'll come up later. So croissants for breakfast. They're not homemade, they're just ones out the freezer, but they still taste good.
Thank you.
So how are we doing?
We're not even doing a knot at the moment.
0.9 almost.
But it's going down. The
Yeah.
wind speed is going down, not up.
Well, we're due to get, I think, 10 knots of wind later, which will get us going. We have got to sort of try and time it to get to the straits at the right time. This is where we are at the moment, and we want to time it really to go through the straits There are certain places, and this is one of them, where it does make a difference of a sort. You get a current through the Messina Straits, and they do publish the tide charts here. Don't worry about the size of these arrows. It's not a massive current. It's not like what you might get in somewhere like the Channel Islands, where you can get horrendous currents running. Here it's a couple of knots, and actually if you happen to get there at the wrong time, which we might do, we're going so slowly, I'd arranged to try and get there about 2 o'clock so that the current will be with us. If we don't manage to do that and it's against us, you can, they say, get a counter current that goes the other way. They call it the bastard. It's the big eddy that comes round and close to the shore goes the other way to the main current. So there's chances of getting out of it, but we will see.
Meanwhile, we start to see strange things in the sea, miles out from the shore. And some of the rocks are rather large.
Judy's fishing for pumice.
I know. We're no good at that either, Steve. We can see them floating by, but...
Yeah, it seems to, I think we've gone through the big bits.
Yeah. There's some tiny bits. There might be some more if I just wait here for a bit.
Well, look, there's some more little ones coming.
Yeah. No, but there are some enormous bits. But as always, I'm a bit late.
It's going to need to be fairly big with the holes in that net.
Yes, I know, but there were some about the size of our table. What?
They're chunks of our gel coat.
Do you think?
Well, yeah, they're stone. I mean, they're not soft. They aren't hard. They're not light. They float. But
they float.
Sharp.
Yeah. No, I think I've missed my chance.
Get this bit.
Ooh.
Get it. No, you missed it.
Oh, that's so annoying. There's a big bit there and I would have got it.
Yay!
Hey!
First catch. Oh, you let them go.
Oh, yeah.
They escaped.
Yes! Yes! Got it!
Don't let it escape.
I won't. Look, there's a proper bit.
Oh, big catch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, let's have that for dinner.
What?
Lovely.
Not quite dinner. Oh, I'm getting into this now. He's already dead, this one.
Just remind me again, why do we want pumice?
Well, it's good for cleansing your skin.
Is that?
Yeah. Gets rid of all the dead skin off your feet and stuff. Oh, this is my one.
Oh, look at that. It's a rock. Get it. Well, say, I don't want to hit these things.
You're right, actually. This is quite heavy.
That'll take the bloody gel coat off and no problem at all. Let's get it. Jesus.
That is a rock.
That's a rock. I think we throw that one back.
No!
Judy's still collecting. She does get a bit obsessed. We can have a pile. Yes, we already have. Look.
Another one?
Enough.
Really? You can sell this, you know.
I really don't think you can here.
When we get to Venice. After dodging the floating stones, this is our 8-hour journey from Volcano to the Strait of Messina. It's a narrow gap of 1.9 miles, and as we won't get far in daylight, we are aiming for this anchorage. It's quite a busy approach, and as the wind dies, we decide to motor to give us a little more control. We pass through the pylons on the Sicilian and Italian sides and stick to our side of the traffic separation zone. And then we spot them. These are passerelles, boats designed for one purpose only: catching swordfish. The fish can swim at 100 kilometers an hour, but for some reason they rest in the strait. The guys at the top are spotters and they steer the boat. The swordfish tend to travel in pairs, male and female, with the female being slightly bigger. When the spotters locate a pair, the harpoonist on the end of the bow, which puts our bowsprit to shame, shoots the female first. The male stays around to see what's going on, and so he's caught too. If the male is harpooned first, the female swims away. It's a tradition that's been part of life here for thousands of years. The next morning, the boats are out again at dawn, and we continue our journey.
Messina BTS, this is Ferrara. We are proceeding south on the Sicilian side of the straits. We wish to cross. Should we do that at the roundabout or beyond the BTS? Over.
BTS were happy for us to cross anywhere at 90 degrees. We decide to slip in behind a ferry.
So this is like an imaginary roundabout.
It's an imaginary roundabout, yes. But you have to go around the wrong way because it's very good. One way for us.
The pink parts of this map denote the no man's land in the middle of the strait. The yellow line is the route we took to cross. And now we're in the waters of mainland Italy, ready to travel round the south and up the Adriatic. They were quite incredible boats, and I was thinking, what do they do with them at night?
Yeah, we didn't see where they went, but you know, with a bowsprit like that, obviously you can't fold it up, and the tower and the bowsprit sort of hold each other up. You don't really want them swinging around on an anchorage, but they're not going to get them in the marina. So,
So if you know, let us know, because that bothered me a little bit. Anyway, the other thing is, did you ever find that wine?
yes, well, yes and no. I found a deep red wine. This is from Salina, not from Volcano, but it's the traditional deep red that they have. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning, so we won't try it now. But we'll try it tonight.
We will have it
We'll let you
tonight.
know what it's like.
We'll get sailing first, I think. We're off now to round the southern tip of Italy and then across to Croatia in, 3 or 4 days. The wind's right then, yeah?
Yeah, we look forward to getting some Croatian wine. It's not something you see in the supermarkets
No.
in Europe that much, but I know they produce a lot of wine, so that'd be nice to see. And see what the customs are like there. I mean, here, one of the strange things we talked about the boats is everyone's well dressed. It's Italy, so you expect that, don't you?
Very, very well
But
dressed.
speedos are a thing here.
They are.
Men wear speedos on the beach. Does that happen anywhere else in the
And
world?
on boats, actually, they wear them on boats as well.
Well, at least
Yeah.
they wear something. I mean, if you're in Spain, you'll always find several people on the beach wearing nothing, and in Formentera, most people wear nothing. So it's different traditions, different places.
I think it's great. Anyway, thank you very much to our patrons and our subscribers, and thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks for watching.